Thank you so much, Sir Mark, for that most kind introduction and for invoking the name of Nafis Sadiq, so dear to all of us at UNFPA. Mr. President of the General Assembly, Deputy Secretary General, dearest Amina, Your Excellency, Prime Minister Mia Amor Motley, President Elizabeth Cousins and members of the board, Excellencies, distinguished guests and honorees, dear friends, buenas tardes. I accept this UN Heroes Award with great joy, and I do so on behalf of UNFPA's dedicated, determined, and tenacious personnel who daily are hard at work all across the more than 120 countries where we serve in every corner of the globe. We would like to thank the United Nations. We would like to thank the United Nations Foundation, best in its class in philanthropy, for this important recognition, which means the world to UNFPA. We would like to thank you for your unwavering support of the United Nations as a whole, and for those fundamental values of the UN Charter of living life in larger freedom that we, the peoples, hold so dear. The story of UNFPA, the United Nations Sexual and Reproductive Health Agency, is a story of great partnerships. Partnership with a woman in a village who's seeking a midwife's care so she can deliver her baby safely. Partnership with a girl who wants to assert her right to say no to genital mutilation or child marriage. It's partnership with young people who are already making positive changes in their communities. It's partnership with forward-looking institutions like this foundation, with governments, of course, and with local implementing partners, with other United Nations development and humanitarian actors, traditional and religious leaders, business people, the media, anyone we can ally with who shares our focus on achieving 3 zeros: 0 unmet need for contraception, 0 preventable maternal deaths, and together with UN Women and so many partners, to bring an end to all gender-based violence and harmful practices that harm women and girls. Everything we do is based on good data and evidence, and every year UNFPA ships over 1 billion contraceptives, so adolescent girls and women and men can plan their families and their lives. In the global push to add 1 million midwives, last year alone we trained 30,000 midwives and prevented some 40,000 maternal deaths. And this month, UNFPA will stand tall in leading efforts to orange the world. We demand an end to the epidemic of sexual and gender-based violence now. And we will do this in concert with local communities. And with local communities, we will shift attitudes about how people think about it. And I need your help as an individual in your professional life and at home to challenge those norms. We need your help to challenge policymakers and tech companies to end online violence and abuse and bullying. And it will take all of us. And therefore, men, I expect you to step up and speak up. The story of UNFPA. The story of UNFPA is also one of solidarity and perseverance, and from our earliest days, more than 50 years ago. As you heard, we've faced resistance. Some politicians still are not receptive to a simple issue like family planning. Yet UNFPA will persist, we will continue to speak out, and we will never stop until SDG 5 is fulfilled. Sex and sexuality need to be spoken out loud. This is part of the intimacy. This is part of the intimacy of a human being's life. And because of this, yes, UNFPA's work has sometimes been mischaracterized and criticized, and that is a shame. And yes, while we face setbacks and pushbacks, we've also advanced. We have been able to find funding through partners despite the growing, rising demand, especially in the humanitarian sphere, as we confront crisis and conflict and post-COVID-19. And through it all, we're growing, we are learning, we're at our biggest and our best today, and credit is due to our steadfast donors and friends and partners, and many of you are here, who have stood up to defend our noble mandate and that 10-year-old girl who depends on us. And through it all, our staff around the world, on the front lines, even in some of the most difficult and dangerous settings on Earth, continue to deliver with that passion and that persistence, because a pregnancy doesn't stop when conflict or crisis strikes. Menstrual periods continue. Menopause continues. Miscarriages happen. Births choose their own time, whether that's on a train, in a camp, or in a queue for food distribution. Sexual and reproductive health care, protection of women and girls from gender-based violence. These are not luxuries. They are essential, life-saving services that women and girls everywhere deserve. It is their right. So this award belongs to them too, to those women and girls who've led us into their lives and share their aspirations with us as we work together to achieve them. And I believe it is time to flip the script and assure we reach the sustainable goals now in peril on time. We'll do that by making the right investments so that people can make informed decisions about whether or when to have their children, so that every girl can learn and gain the skills that she needs to succeed without fear of early marriage or of being shamed by an adolescent pregnancy. And in the coming days, the United Nations will announce that world population has reached 8 billion. Let us assure that all 8 billion of us have the ability to exercise our rights, choices, and responsibilities to truly leave no one behind in a world of infinite possibilities. Thank you so much for this award.